Fine. Well, good morning, guys. Loading up some gear. This morning, we're taking my little car out and we're going to drive to the friendly town of Stayner here in Ontario, central Ontario. From there, we're going to find a parking location. We're going to put on the backpack and we're going to head out on about a 20-kilometer hike today. Now, that hike is going to take us from the town of Stayner to the Valley Village community of Creemore, Ontario. Great little place. We've been there before. The hike down there promises to be reasonably interesting. There's a few locations that I know of that I've photographed one or two of them before. There might be some new locations that we see. Every day is a different day. Every season is a different season. Right now it's March the 30th. Spring. We're into spring by about 10 days now. The weather patterns have changed a lot here in Ontario. Most of the snow is gone. There's a little bit here and there, but not much. And we're looking forward to spring. So hey, let's head out. Let's see what we can find. Let's have a great day. By the way, it's Gary here with Gary Clayton Photography. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Okay, so right now we've just left the area where we parked the car. We've started down the road. Now, this is a country road. Commonly it's referred to as Fairgrounds Road. At the north end is where we have what we call the GNE, the Great Northern Exhibition, which takes part for about 4 days in the fall, and it's a huge exhibition, kind of fair, carnival, show, and so on. This road runs through the valleys, up and down the hills, to the village of Creemore, Ontario, and that's where we're heading. About 10 kilometers from here right now. It's about a 20-kilometer round trip. Now, this particular road, it's paved all the way. It's a country road. It's an easy kind of hike. It does go up and down. It is quite hilly, but it's a nice walk. The weather today, the weatherman said it would start off cloudy, which it did. There was no sunrise. Well, there was, but just not here, not that you could see. And then it would slowly improve as the day progressed. Right now it's about 8:30 a.m. in the morning. Well, I guess a.m. is the morning, isn't it? But anyhow, either way, it's still about 8:30 in the morning. And we've started the hike. There's sun on the eastern horizon coming up into the sky. There's blue patches in the sky. We can see some blue to the west. We can also see some grey. So, as the weatherman said, we are starting to get some light. We're getting some sunshine. It's also quite windy today. I did bring the drone with me. Now today I have with me my Phantom 3 standard drone. And so, yeah, we're ready to go. Let's see what we find. I'm using my Canon 6D. You will notice I have it with a wrist strap. This particular kind of hike is an opportunistic kind of photography hike. I'm not 100% sure what I'll see and when I'll see it. Also, you don't get the opportunities for some wildlife in these areas. So, you know what? We want to be ready for that. We don't want to worry about the camera being in the bag and the tripod and so on. To start with, I'm using my Canon 28 to 135mm lens, which again is my kind of everyday go-to lens. I did not bring my 70 to 200. That was primarily due to weight, although I'm almost regretting that in my mind, and I'm kind of wishing I had have brought that with me. But hey, hindsight's 20/20, so I don't know. But okay, down here about a mile or so, there's an old church, and that's going to be our first stop that I'm aware of this morning. So let's head down there, let's see how we make out, and we'll talk to you soon. Let's go. A lot of what we have here in central Ontario, as far as landscape and so on is concerned, is essentially wide open areas. Here you can see a barn, a white barn with a red roof. a row of trees across a last year's kind of harvested cornfield. This is the kind of thing we have here in Ontario. It tends to be wide, open and flat. We have no mountains here. Of course, we have the Great Lakes. But anyhow, this is the kind of vista that we see. As you'll know if you watch some of my other videos, you'll know that I actually like shooting barns. I find them very interesting and very characteristic. Here in Ontario, those barns are slowly disappearing because of the cost of maintaining them and rebuilding them, and they're just going away. So one day they'll all be gone. So I'm really glad I get the opportunity now to photograph them, like we just did with this barn right here. Handheld, couple of shots with my 6D, my 28 to 135mm lens. I had a 75mm focal length, f8. I had a shutter speed of 1/250th of a second. I had an ISO of 200. Hey, you know what? If we got that shot, I'm actually going to pop it up for you right now to take a look at. See what you think. Okay, so we continue the hike. Now, it's very windy. It's actually very cold today, colder than it has been, but we've had rain the last few days, and with the rain we've had milder temperatures around the +10 degrees Celsius. I think +7 is about normal for this time of year here in Ontario. Today it's about -2 or 3 degrees Celsius. Quite breezy, so it's really feeling quite cold. But hey, let's continue. Let's see what we can find. So right here, you see the old outhouse from back in the day. Now keep in mind, this was built back in 1850. That outhouse has probably got all kinds of stories to tell. But you know what? Seeing we're here, we are going to grab a couple of handheld shots of that outhouse. Now, it's kind of sat in the shade right now, as the sun is over here to our west, and there's a corner. But you know what? We're going to grab a couple of shots of that outhouse because we're here and because we can. Yeah, and why not indeed? We'll try to corner it so we can get the window with that outhouse. Yeah, you know what? That's a couple of good shots. Let's pop one of those up right now for you to see. There's a couple of shots of the old outhouse. Lots of stories in that outhouse. Now this church was built in 1857. It's a Presbyterian church. I know that just from the plaque that's up on the wall on the front of the church. But we have been here before. And if you recall, we could actually open this front door and see inside. And it's still open. And see inside this kind of foyer of the church. Now, the second door ahead of us, it's locked tight. There's a small table there with a guest book, and we have signed that once before in the past. But yeah, this is the old foyer or entrance into the church. Now, something that's interesting, and I want to show you some of this because I think some of it's interesting as we walk through this cemetery or graveyard. Something I've noticed before, first of all, is a lot of the people, and we've mentioned this before, but a lot of the people died at such an early age. Here's one over here. This person died And this is John, and he died July the 11th, 1862, and John was 6 years and 9 months of age. Very, very, very young. These people died back in 1896, but they were natives of Islay, Argyllshire, Scotland. Now, okay, so these people, these are the pioneers that came from the old country. They're the people that pioneered Canada. They're our forefathers, the pioneers. Really, really, really interesting stuff. Anyhow, I just wanted to share that with you. I knew that outhouse, by the way, was here because I'd seen it before. I just never actually thought about capturing an image of the outhouse. But hey, one other stone I'm just noticing now, Christina, 1880 to 1883. So that's only 3 years, and the gravestone also says also 3 infants. Wow, really quite amazing. Okay, you know what, guys? Let's hammer down. Let's get going. We've a long way to go, and we've a lot to see. Let's head out. So right now, we've made a stop at the famous Red Barn of Creemore. I'm going to turn the GoPro around. You're going to see the Red Barn of Creemore. Now, we have photographed this barn before a couple of times. It's actually a good selling image for me, and I have sold that several times. This is a different composition. If you look to the left, you're going to see another barn in the distance. And right now, I'm trying to pick up both barns. It's a long shot. I have a focal length of 70 mil. I'm sat on a tripod. I've changed the wrist strap for my L bracket. Manual mode, of course. I have an ISO of 200. I have a shutter speed of 1/320th of a second. There's my shot. Hey, we captured that shot. Is it any good? I have no idea, but let's pop one up into the let's pop one up on the screen right now for us to look at and see. Here we go. Now, something else. I did try to launch the drone here. Again, if you've been watching several of my videos, you'll know that I generally work with a Phantom 3 drone. However, I have been working also with the Unique Breeze drone. One of the differences, the Unique Breeze, first of all, is almost not usable in any kind of wind condition. Not because it won't fly, it flies great, but simply because the camera is not gimbaled. It has only a stability control. It has a digital stability control, which makes it useful only in calm conditions. However, one thing I will say about the Breeze is, if I took the Breeze out of the box right now, poof, it would fly. The Phantom 3, no. Software issue, battery too cold, blah, blah, blah. Several things. That's one of the beefs I've always had with the DJI Phantoms. But anyhow, having said that, I took the battery out to warm up. I don't have my car with me. I couldn't warm it in my car. But we are warming it up, and I'll leave that to your imagination. And we are going to try to launch the drone again and see if we can get some aerial footage of this particular barn, because it would be quite interesting. And you know what? If that battery warms up and we do get some footage, we're going to roll that footage now. If we don't get the battery warmed up, then we're going to just head on down the road and carry on with the hike. Let's see what happens next. So about 2 or 3 miles down the road from the last cemetery it was at, we came to another smaller cemetery. Maybe it's just a family kind of plot of generations, I don't know. But again, out here in the countryside, it's just a small cemetery. And it's going back quite a ways. I was reading one a minute ago, and that person passed away in 1801. But just take a look at some of this. It's really quite interesting. Have a look at some of these stones in the cement here. This one right here, I believe is 1801 or 1807. This poor person was 15 years, 11 months. So only a month away, and it was a boy, a son, only a month away from his 16th birthday. Passed away in 1801. Pretty interesting, isn't it? Very interesting here. This person here died at the age of 6 years. Died in April. I'm not sure if that's 1865, 1805, not sure. Wow. Yeah. The history here is amazing. It really is amazing. I just wanted to stop and show you this. This is one thing about when you're out and you can hike to places. You see things that otherwise you just wouldn't see or even notice if you were riding in a car. That's one of the reasons I like to hike pretty much everywhere I go. I really do enjoy that. But anyhow, okay, let's carry on. We're getting closer to Creemore. Now right across the street is the coffee shop. Little cafe, baked goods, this kind of thing. And that's usually where I'll stop when I'm in Creemore. Now, there was a time back in the winter time when I came in and it was closed. But today, let's go see if it's open. I hope it is. There's lights on inside. Maybe, yes, I see an open sign. We could be lucky today. Let's see. Hello, how are you? Good, thank you. Wow, cool little place. So yeah, look at this place. It's absolutely amazing. This has got to be my favorite coffee shop. Take a look at some of the baked goods. Oh look, there's a nice lady behind the counter and she's waving. But just look at this place. It's absolutely amazing. All kinds of things, sandwiches, salads. Perfect. It's gotta be the most perfect coffee shop you've ever seen. Right here in Creemore, Ontario. Okay, right behind me, right over here, some tall pines, a white farmhouse. Not anything particularly spectacular, but quite pretty. But you know what? I'm looking at capturing that image as an example of negative space. We're going to use the sky in a big way around that image or around those trees and building to try to show negative space. Handheld Canon 6D 28 to 135mm lens. Let's see what happens. Okay guys, well, we're getting reasonably close to the car, not too far from here. We're going to be packing up the camera and just concentrating on the last remaining distance to the car. Go get a cup of coffee, unpack the gear, download the images into Lightroom, see what we've got, have a look at the aerial video, have a look at the GoPro video. By the way, for this vlog, I am using my GoPro Hero 5 Black with my DJI microphone. That's the microphone that originally came with my Osmo. I love that mic. I've had issues with my GoPro Hero 5, but hey, let's see what happens. Hopefully things are going to be fine. As far as being technical, you know what? I try not to be too technical in my videos. I'll tell you why. A good friend of mine, or a gentleman I know, who's been a photographer pretty much all his life and has got to be getting near retirement age now, is the kind of photographer that he just knows what settings to put on his camera when he turns it on for a given situation. He turns his camera on, sets the settings, points at the subject, presses the shutter release button, and boom. Pretty much all the time he has a perfect image. Now, he's been doing this so long, he just seems to know this. And chatting with him, there doesn't seem as great of a photographer he is. He's done it so long that there may not be a lot of passion left in his photography. Now that tells me that photography is a destination. And if it is a destination, it's a destination I don't want to get to, because the journey is amazing. And I love every minute of it. Just like today. Today has been a blast. And I would do it again tomorrow if I could, but I can't. Maybe the next day though. But anyhow, so as far as being technical, I tell you my camera settings sometimes. I tell you what gear I'm using. You'll pick your own gear, whether you're a Nikon, Sony, Canon, or whoever shooter. Hey, it doesn't matter. The lenses you're using, you'll figure out with experience what works best for you. As far as settings, well, you know what? Again, that's part of the journey. There's an amazing English photographer. I personally, he's my favorite photographer on YouTube, and I have learned a lot from him over the years. His name is Mike Brown, an absolutely amazing photographer. Check out his channel, please do. He has so much to offer. He is inspirational, but he's also a very educational photographer. But people will ask him questions and they'll say, if I do this or if I do that, what will happen? And he says, well, I don't know. Try it and see. And to me, that's part of the journey. What settings are right? Who knows? Everybody's condition is different. Everybody's light is different. Try different settings and see what happens. Experiment, learn, enjoy the journey. Get up on a morning, get out there. Whatever mode of transportation you have, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you take a bus, drive a car, walk, or even if you're unable to do those things. If you can just make it into your backyard maybe, or around the house, anywhere to capture images and enjoy the journey. I don't know if photography is a destination, but if it is, I don't want to get there. Hey, listen, if you like what we're doing, please give me a like, share, leave a comment. I will get back to all comments, and please do subscribe. It's Gary here with Gary Clayton Photography. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. And of course, let's take a look at some images.